Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video game review. I'm actually doing two, so this will probably be released on Tuesday along with my Mummy Demaster video. And for this review, I'm going to be doing a look at a review of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. Mario, that is a name that a lot of gamers have heard before. For many, he is reviewed as the most iconic video game character of all times. From the original NES Super Mario Bros. Released back in 1985, all the way up to a lot of the 3D Mario games that have come out back when the first one came out back in 1996 with Super Mario 64. Still hold with high regards though. As far as me though, I've been a Mario fan for a very long time, and there are plenty of Mario games I have enjoyed. And I'm referring to the platform ones, not the spin-off like RPGs or the sports or anything like that. Those are good, don't get me wrong, especially the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles that came out earlier this year. Or like sometime in August though, this year though. As far as the 2D ones though, my favorite one has always been Super Mario Bros. 3, which, call it say what you want, I consider it the greatest video game ever made, to Super Mario World. As far as the 3D Mario platform games go, Mario 64 I still hold that with high regards as one of the games that pushed the whole 3D world and all that stuff. Sunshine was okay. I mean, it was good. I mean, I don't hate it though, but it didn't have the same kind of the way Mario 64 did. Mostly at the time because 3D was somewhat settling in by then. Not at the level that it is now, but sort of settling in compared to what it was back in 1996. Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 I hold with high regards. I love those titles, especially when they were on the Wii. Especially the first one, Mario Galaxy. I love the music on that one, especially from the Bottleneck Galaxy one and the fight with Bowser though. With Bowser, I love those music though. 3D World, not so much. I didn't hate the title. I enjoyed it though, but I felt like it was more like an expansion to Super Mario 3D Land on the Nintendo 3DS. Again, good title though, but compared to the Mario Galaxies, I just find the Galaxy one better than 3D World. I'm not saying 3D World is bad. It's just that I consider it sort of like the black sheep in a way, kind of like what Super Mario Bros. 2 was though. So again, a good game, just not the best Mario title out there, at least from my perspective though. So now, with the Nintendo Switch out since March, we finally have the first real Mario title. I mean, the first official Mario title, if you want to put Mario Kart 8 and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles aside, with Super Mario Odyssey. And after investing a couple weeks in this title, I have to say, though, it is basically one of the reasons you should get a Nintendo Switch, though. So now that we get that out of the way, why don't we get started with the pros and cons. Let's see if I can get my notes right up. Okay, here we go. The first one we'll start with, the pros, is the visuals. And I have to say, the game looks good. Even if it's undocked at 720p, it still looks very impressive though. I don't know if it's running at 1080p or not. I think Digital Foundry did a video showing the game running at 900p, but even so, visually it looks nice. The world that they created looks really good. My favorite one has to be the Sand Kingdom, followed by the Cap Kingdom, which you kind of get sort of like a Tim Burton Nightmare for Nightmare Before Christmas vibe out of it a little bit, though. But overall, visually speaking, it looks good. And regardless of whether you have the game running docked or undocked, it runs at a good 60 frames per second, which is definitely nice. So visually speaking, it looks really good, regardless if it's docked or undocked. And anyway, the next one I want to talk about is the controls. And for the most part, the controls are absolutely fine, regardless of whether you're playing with the Joy-Con grips or with the Pro controller. I also want to point out that I did not have a huge issue with the motion controls though. They're kind of like what the motion controls were in like Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D, and even Breath of the Wild that came out earlier this year. In other words, they're there, but they don't feel like they're forcing you to use them or not. I mean, you could still enjoy the game and not touch them at all in any way. So, or at least based on my time with the game, it is. So, but overall, I have to say the controls are solid, and the motion controls aren't a huge issue with me though. And like I said, I don't feel like they're being forced on the way, unlike say Star Fox Zero on the Nintendo Wii U was, though, where that just felt uncomfortable to use. You could work your way around it, but still, it felt like they were forcing you to use the motion controls compared to Marrio Odyssey, where it didn't feel like that. The next thing I do want to say is that I love the whole capture and possess gameplay in the game, where you basically use Cappy, your partner, to take control of certain things, like ranging from certain objects and enemies. This comes in handy when you need to solve certain puzzles or get to certain places. Like, for example, I had to take control of a couple of Goombas to attract a female Goomba to hand me a Power Moon, to using one of the stones in the Sand Kingdom to unlock, say, hidden paths that are covered, or like invincible to be exact, over a pool of like purple poisonous water, though, to get either a moon or the purple coins in that region. So overall, I have to say I love the idea of this whole possessed or capture system, and it's really fun though. It basically opens up certain gameplay, so if there's certain thing that's out of reach or a certain place you need to go to, you could possibly capture an enemy or an object, and that might help you get to that area a bit easier though. But overall, I love the capture and possess system. And last but not least, I have to say this is a game you can easily get lost. And I mean that in a good way. I mean, you could, when you get to a kingdom, you could start going straight to that area where they point out and get the moon. But there are times when I just want to just go off the beaten path in general and look for, say, the purple coins which are in that region, to basically finding any of the moons that are hidden within the level that could be easily reached. Now, some areas in that kingdom, and even the moons in general, sometimes you're not going to be able to reach all of them. Sometimes you have to get a little bit later in the level to basically get like a moon or some of the purple rings, purple coins. I'm sorry, I meant to say that. And there are times where you basically have to wait until you get further along in the game, maybe even going as far as beating the game before you can access for some of these moons. That said, this is a game you could easily get lost in, very easily, and I view that in a good way. Just basically looking around, trying to see what you can grab, like what moon you can get right away, and so on. So this is a game where you can easily go off the beaten path, though. And to me, that's definitely a good thing. Alright, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we are going to get to the cons. Yes, Super Mario Odyssey does have some cons that I would like to point out, though. So, we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. Now that I gave you my pros and what I thought about the game, why don't I give you my cons? And there are a couple, though. Nothing that ruins the complete games, but some of the stuff that I at least found a little bit annoying, though, in Super Mario Odyssey. So why don't we get started with the cons? The first one I do want to talk about is the 2D part. Now, I do like the part where the levels in Super Mario Odyssey, there are certain areas that go into a 2D area, especially the parts where go into the 8-bit part. Those are really good, though, especially with the 8-bit like music and all that stuff. But if there's one area about that I find a bit annoying that I don't like, though, it's the fact that when you go into those parts, you control Mario using the control stick, which isn't terrible or anything like that, but I would have liked to use the control pad instead. Maybe it's because I grew up, playing like the old Mario games and I've gotten used to, with the D-pad and all that stuff, so it would have been nice if they at least gave you the option to use the D-pad rather than the control stick to control Mario in those 2D areas, though, okay? Again, not a huge con, but something I just think it's a little bit annoying, though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the motion controls. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the pros, though, I did say that the motion controls aren't I didn't have a huge issue with it, and that still stands, though, okay? And I don't feel like they're being forced on, though. Having said that, though, I do feel there are times when I do wish that some of the moves, for example, could have been mapped to a button, though. Now, I haven't seen anything in the option menu or anything like that other than you could turn the motion controls on or off or anything like that, but it would have been nice to see some of the moves. Like, for example, with your hat, you know, if you push I think if you push the Y button, Mario throws the hat, though. There's a special move where you can have the hat sort of rotates around him to take out enemies that's surrounding him. Unfortunately, in order to do that, you have to sort of tilt the controller, whether you're using the Pro controller or whether you're using the Joy-Con grip or whether you're playing in portable mode, you have to tilt it sideways in order for Mario to do that special hat move. That could be an issue if you're playing the game in portable mode, especially since you have to sort of, you know, keep an eye on the screen and everything like that, though. So it's, again, not a huge, it doesn't ruin the game completely, it doesn't make the game unplayable or anything like that, though, and it still maintains the motion controls are still optional, but I would have liked to see some of these special moves that Mario can do that could be mapped to a button rather than using the motion controls. Same thing with climbing. They show where if you shake the motion controls, Mario can climb faster. Would have liked to see that mapped to a button as well as too. So again, motion controls are not bad, but I would have liked to see some of the commands mapped to a buttons as well. And last but not least, I will say that I'm not a huge fan with the 2-player mode. I don't think it's terrible or anything like that. I mean, you have like one person using one of the Joy-Cons and they're playing as Mario and the other one is playing as Cappy, which is all fine and nice and all, but in order for that to work, you gotta have somebody who is on the same playing field as you are, though. If you have someone who might be a little bit inexperienced, it could lead to some frustrated moments, though, in the game. And to me, I just would have preferred, you know, the old school style, like 2-player mode, like, you know, the one in the classic Mario games where one character dies or beats a level, it's the next character's turn, or at the very least the kind of 2-player mode that was in, say, like the new Super Mario Bros. Wii and U one as well, or to some extent Super Mario 3D World, where one person controls Mario and the other person controls Luigi, though. So to me, the 2-player mode isn't necessarily bad. It's just I just don't like. I'm just not a big fan of this particular 2-player mode, to be exact. Excuse me 1 second. Overall, despite some of the cons I have for the game, though, I have to say I still enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey and still hold this game with high regards, though. I don't view it as a revolutionary title. I know some will disagree with me on that in any way. Instead, I view Super Mario Odyssey as sort of as a love letter to, say, the past 3D Mario games that have come, particularly some of my favorite ones like Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, though. So to me, I hold this game in high regards to those games as well. So my overall experience is that this is definitely a really good Mario title, though. Not a revolutionary, but really, really fun, though, and it's definitely one you should pick up. If you have a Switch, you owe it to yourself to pick up this game. If you're planning on getting a Switch, this is something you need to add to your library as well, though. It will be very interesting to see if they do another 3D Mario on the Nintendo Switch, though. I would like to see that. Maybe they'll do a Mario Odyssey 2, who knows? But in either case, though, get this. It is well worth it, though, okay? Despite some of the minor cons, but still well worth it, however. Okay, this concludes my video review of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours, though? What are your thoughts about Super Mario Odyssey? Have you enjoyed the game? Have you not enjoyed the game? Have you picked it up yet? Have you planned on picking it up, or have you have no plans to pick it up at all? Do you like my review? Do you not like my review? Do you have a different opinion or different take on it? Well, as always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate that, and I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through either PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, for Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye!